Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Cosmic Panel, where today we're going to be discussing Supergirl, the second movie in the new DC universe. And it
It
is.
is the
Yeah,
second. I
it is.
forgot about that.
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? But we are going to be discussing spoilers. So if you have not watched Supergirl, go out and watch it before we discuss this film. So we're going to go with overall thoughts. Balti, what did you think?
I liked it. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't the greatest movie in the world, but it was solid. And I think it's better than a lot of reviews were saying it was. It was pretty decent.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's a great movie, and I think it for me at least it is a simple thing where a couple more stuff and maybe a couple more moments could have made this film feel a lot more fleshed out.
Hmm.
I think when comparing this to Woman of Tomorrow as like the comic, I mean it's night and day. Unfortunately, the comic though is stunning. It's beautifully written, and I think like comparing that to this, yeah, this is kind of a downgrade. But I think for anyone who hasn't read the comic, I mean, this is still a good movie.
Yeah, I actually went into it specifically not reading the comic. It was literally right there on my reading list. I had enough time to read it and everything, and I went no, because I know Lucas would have read it, and
Yeah,
I
I did.
feel like I want to go. And my dad and my brother both read it, and they love it. And the way that this movie was supposed to be, I didn't know it was like supposed to be that much of an adaptation. I looked it up later. Apparently, they were like, yeah, we're
they
really
had
trying to.
they
It's
literally had Tom King there,
yeah,
like
they're like,
actively,
it's
like
not a loose one. It's like an actively we're trying to
no,
adapt it.
he's actively like working with the DC studio. Like he's a part of Lanterns, the Lanterns team. Also, like
Oh, okay.
he's very much involved. He's heading the Mister Miracle show
Oh, cool.
because it's
Okay.
based off of his comic, which
Yeah.
makes sense. But yeah, no, he seems to be very much like in now, kind of taking the reins there.
Yeah. I didn't know how involved he was, but I knew it would be at least partially an adaptation of a comic. So I specifically didn't read it because I
Yeah,
wanted to.
that's fair. That's I think
I wanted to
honestly that
have
was
that.
the smart decision.
Yeah.
As someone who read it, um, it the thing is that the book is so good that you can't help but compare it to the film.
Hmm.
And while the film has these moments of like for example, when Ruth is like confronting Krem, um, and like talking about killing him and stuff like that, it's good. But the moment in the comics is so much more emotional because by that point you have hit a point where Ruth has Kara basically protecting them from above, from the like
Hmm.
she's going through ships in the sky in outer space, like fighting them off. Uh, and Ruth is charged with like the like basically supposed to babysit him, and so
Hmm.
the entire time Kremlin's like, "You should kill me. You, hey man, why don't you just kill me? Why don't we fight?" Like he keeps on egging her on, and so the entire issue builds up to the point where like right when she's about to kill Supergirl, returns back and stops.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and that to me is like this tried to do that, but it didn't land it.
Yeah. The movie, it wasn't like perfect, and there was some weird stuff. Like Lobo felt very
Oh, he definitely I
he.
so he isn't in the original comic. He definitely
Yeah.
shouldn't have been included here. I'm sorry, but
I
don't
look.
don't get me wrong. I liked him.
He was cool.
He
Yeah,
was cool.
Momoa was awesome. A way better role than Aquaman. Um,
He should have been a post credit scene. Straight up.
yeah, or he should have been in something else. Um, um, uh,
I
I
don't
want
think
to
giving
say
him a starring role
lanterns,
makes
but might
sense.
not fit there. Like, yeah, and he both like did stuff for the story and didn't. Like he was just kind of like a an ex machina, where like he really only showed up like
I
to
hated
save people and
I
then
hated
leave.
when he saved Supergirl. Like that to me was like the biggest like really like because the whole thing with Kara was like her having to be scapegoated by Lobo in that moment where she got shot with the kryptonite arrows felt very much like, really?
Yeah, and it it felt very predictable. Like it
Yeah,
felt very much where I was like, how is she gonna get out of this? Lobo's gonna show up because Lobo said he was coming back and he hasn't come back in a while. Either that or I thought it was gonna be um when uh oh my god, I forgot the bad guy's name, which is another
Krem, Krem.
Krem, which is another criticism I have of this movie that he was very generic.
To be fair, he is very generic in the comic. Also,
Yeah,
he honestly, weirdly enough, this one had more personality than the one in the comic.
really. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, which is kind of crazy to say, but and I love the comic. Don't get me wrong. The guy isn't really the point of the story.
Hmm.
Krem like isn't the
Yeah,
point. Is Ruth and Supergirl and Kara's like journey to find Krem
yeah.
more than anything else. But
I
like
think
this one, yeah,
But I think with a movie like this, where it's a lot shorter and you're cutting out a lot of that journey and stuff, you need them to be a little bit more memorable,
yeah,
um, and a little bit more visually different from the other, what are they, the brigands, right?
brigands, yeah.
Like
No, I
a
definitely
little bit
agree.
visually different. That a couple times I was like, is that him or is that the red mohawk guy that Lobo was after or something? Like a couple of them look similar. But I thought Lobo was going to show up when what's her name, Ruth, was gonna um like when he shot her with the crossbow thing on the ship and was like gonna kill her. I thought that's when Lobo was gonna show up. Supergirl showed up instead. But there was a couple times where I was sort of like in my head I was thinking, "Uh, when is Lobo showing up? Because he's gonna show up any moment now."
Yeah, Krem in the comics looks pretty bog standard, to be honest. Like his whole thing is just he has red hair. Like that's kind of it. He doesn't have any of the like the metal stuff on his face or anything like that. Like that's all in addition. Him
Hmm.
being bald. He does have super strength, but that's because of like magic. Weirdly enough. Uh, but yeah, no, I think
Oh wow,
my
is that him? He really does look generic. God damn.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like he looks very like he's pretty stock standard. Like he's not,
Yeah.
but that's kind of the point of the story though, is that like he's a guy who, so in I will say in the comic he only kills the father. He
Mhm.
doesn't kill the entire family. And so the story's a lot more compelling because all of Ruth's siblings and her mother are telling her like, no, just let it go. He's not worth this. Like we have to continue with our lives. We have to bury your father and we have to move on. And Ruth is like, no, I can't let him get away with that. And that to me is like so much more impactful than Krem just killing all of the family, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um, and like the reason why you learn Krem killed uh the father in the comics is because literally he was jealous of how honorable the father was.
Mm.
Like he was looking for a fault and he was like, I just didn't like that snide smile of that man knowing that he was better than me. And it's like, and it's a really like fucked up moment because
Yeah.
it's near the end of the series and you're like, oh, this guy's just a like you knew he was like a psychopath, but at first you were like, oh, maybe he was doing his duty. No, he's just a psychopath.
Mhm.
Because he's supposed to be like a knight or something for like a king. Like that's what he is. And then he gets turned into a brigand halfway through the story. He joins
Okay.
up with the brigands. Um, but so like with this movie, I think the biggest thing was cutting out a lot of the family scenes in the beginning, which that annoyed the fuck out of me is cutting those out because they showed them near the end, and it's like you should have included what we should have started with the beginning of the movie. First, 5 to 7 minutes should have been a day in the life of Ruth.
Mm.
Should have been a day in the life of Ruth with her family, and then the end of the day gets ruined by Krem. Like
Yeah.
that's how you set up the family feeling like an actual family. You get to see this alien life, and you get to see that Ruth is a main character, and you see how she's different before, and then how she's different after. And I
Yeah.
think just and the thing that pisses me off is that they shot those scenes. They showed it near the
Oh,
end.
really?
Well, you see in
Oh,
the
I thought you were saying that they shot more and they just cut it or something.
no, well they showed those scenes of like her
Yeah.
on the tractor with her dad and her mom
Yeah, really
like
briefly.
like little moments like that. It's like, so you shot the scenes and you just didn't do it.
Hmm.
Like that to me is much more frustrating than them just being like, "Oh, we didn't have time to film it." You know?
Yeah.
Because if you're
And
going to commit that time and do the set and everything, just film a day in the life of Ruth. It's not that complicated. You just need a field and the house.
yeah. And some of it and some of those scenes felt very um surface level,
Hmm.
like not bad, but like that scene where Krem comes in with the family and he's sort of intimidating them and taking the pie and like give me the swords and all that stuff. It's there. Or I'm thinking later on where
I hate it when
Supergirl's
the brother jumped in front of the sister. That shit was stupid.
yeah,
Also,
yeah, that was a little
that was like, I was like, really?
yeah.
Like, to me, that was like I think that's the most cringy part of this movie, is that moment right there where I was like, that's the, like, just make him a cold blooded murderer. That's like,
Yeah,
you
and like
that felt like a very cheap version,
well,
cheap
I'm
way to do
thinking of
that.
like the dialogue and the scene of that, and then the other scene where Supergirl's with those other parents and they're like trying to drug her. Um, it
That's so
felt
much more
very.
compelling, honestly.
It was compelling, but it also felt very surface level sometimes. In that it was like,
Oh yeah, it didn't want to commit to the theme
oh,
of
you're
like
and just
slavery
everything
and
was
like,
like, and everything was like, ah, you're Krem, the brigand. Take your swords and fuck off. All right, I don't want to do that. Okay, it's like there wasn't a lot of like nuance in that. It was like we don't like you. Like, okay, don't just come out and say that. Like, have a little bit of something of the tension of them not straight up saying what they're thinking. Um,
yeah.
which it feels a little nitpicky, but I feel like
I mean, the brigands are very much not that huge of a thing in the comics. Like, the thing is that, like, he joins them because he's like, fuck it, I need another ship and I need like a group that can
yeah,
back me up to protect me from Supergirl. Like, literally, that's like why that, and also because he loves slaughtering people, and it's like a very simple reason. And I think making him like a brigand off rip kind of defeats that purpose. Like, making him a nobody. The whole point is that he's a nobody who did something to this girl, and so
mhm,
she wants revenge. And him running away from Supergirl keeps on leading him, like showing him like, no matter what ridiculous thing he gets to and what next thing he plots and what next thing he becomes, like, motherfucker learns magic at one point. Like, man learns basically the equivalent of like hollow purple. Like, I shit you not. It's very funny. Like, do you know what hollow purple is?
no,
Gojo's move where he like flicks a purple ball at people and like deletes people from the universe.
mhm,
But like, it's like a ridiculous moment where you're like, oh, I guess this guy can do this now, and it keeps showing that it doesn't work.
yeah,
And like, I kind of wish he was more of a nobody. Weirdly enough, like, I'm fine with the
mhm,
personality. Don't get me wrong, but I would have liked it if he was basically putting on a bravado more than anything else.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I,
Also,
some
Supergirl doesn't kill him in the comic. Funnily enough,
yeah, it felt
she tortures him for like 100 years,
oh
which
shit,
arguably might be worse.
yeah, yeah. I,
Arguably,
some of that
maybe
felt
maybe a
very
little bit
like
worse.
some of it felt very weird. Is like don't kill him. Why? Because you're good.
Yeah, that felt like,
Don't
in the
kill
beginning it
like
felt
don't.
very, the reason was very surface level until she, I think, got into her actual backstory, which I wish we had
Yeah, but
gotten a
then
little bit further in.
even at the end, they did make Krem a fucking bad guy, and then she's still like, "Oh, don't kill him. I'm gonna do." Like it just felt a very weird thing. And then with Lobo on it, it felt very. There's a lot of this movie that like it's not bad. It just it feels a little awkward. It feels like
Hmm.
they were maybe pulling some punches because they wanted general audiences to like it. Um,
They didn't commit to it, and
yeah.
I think that they definitely suffered because of it. Because I think like if you're gonna bring okay, if you set something up, you have to commit to it. If you're gonna bring
Mhm.
up the fact that it's an all male group, which is a fully original thing, I don't remember that from the comic.
Yeah.
If you're gonna bring up that it's an all male group that uses women to breed, like commit to that and make that
Yeah.
a genuinely like impactful thematic and storyline.
Yeah.
Don't
And
just make it feel like you're using it for the sake of using it.
yeah. And if you're afraid to do that, or if you don't want to, if you're
Don't
like,
do
well,
it.
we want families to watch it and stuff,
Then
just
don't
don't
do
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
Just don't do
Just
it.
say
They
that
can
they're
be bad
you
enough.
could literally
They're
just say that
pirates.
they kidnap you could just say they could
Yeah.
kidnap families, like in
They
general.
yeah,
Like
they
that would
kidnap
be enough.
families. They're just slavers, pirates, whatever. You don't even
Just
have to
saying they're
describe.
slavers and keeping like an eclectic variety of like
Yeah.
creatures and
Or not
monsters and
even
stuff
that.
like that, that would be it.
They're just the brigands. They kidnap people.
Yeah.
Or they have prisoners, whatever. Like you don't need an explanation. A lot of other stuff doesn't have that explanation. Um, if you look at like Star Wars, the original Star Wars movies and stuff, maybe they say slavers, or other times they're just like, nah, we just put this guy in a little prison cell. Why? Because that's what people do. We put people in prison cells.
Not everything needs an explanation, and you
Yeah.
don't if you're not willing to handle if you open a door, be ready to have it kicked open. You know,
Mm-hmm.
be don't leave it a smidge open and then be surprised when people go, "Hey, why is this door here?"
Yeah. I. What did you think about like the action and stuff?
I thought the action was great. I thought the action
Yeah.
was completely good. I thought the visual effects were really good.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give a shout out to the prosthetics. The prosthetics scene was crazy.
Yeah, and
They I
all
will
the
say
aliens and shit,
all
and that.
every alien looked different. Every
Yeah,
alien felt different. It was honestly really really cool, and I loved how much of it was practical.
yeah,
Like
it felt like OG Star Wars, where like everyone's just everywhere you look, there's a new weird fucking guy
which is
in the
good.
background. Yeah,
That's what I want. I want this universe to feel like that's the thing. Say what you will about the film,
mm,
but the universe definitely felt like a universe. It felt like
yeah.
a living, breathing universe in a lot of ways.
It was a big place
Yeah,
where a random Kryptonian can just. It's not news because there's so many fucking people that who cares, you know?
like it's not yeah like Superman isn't big news outside of Earth, and so like them being like, oh, she's a Kryptonian, what the fuck, I thought they were all dead,
Yeah,
like and
like
it
it's
not being
interesting, but no one's like, oh, what the fuck, a Kryptonian, you know?
yeah, it's not like, wait, you're Supergirl, like
Yeah.
no one's like going crazy like that, which is good. I think good because it builds up. Superman will get to that point at some point.
Hmm.
He will go into space at some point whenever he beats Brainiac or wherever the fuck next. That will be like when he starts making his like own name. You know?
Yeah. The Krypton City, that felt very Brainiac.
Oh
That
yeah.
I feel like that might come back.
Oh, 100%. So definitely
Because
Argo City's definitely getting shrunk down and putting
that
into
definitely
the Brainiac City.
100%. And then they're gonna do a thing where it's like, oh, is anyone still alive on there? And Brainiac's like, haha, I'll never tell. You know, that's gonna be the thing
Here's
where
your father.
yeah, where like, you know, Clark and
I've
Kara,
exposed them all to red kryptonite.
yeah,
It makes them become wild, wacky shit.
he's like oh, I could have put any kryptonite in there, who knows? And then they're gonna be like, oh man, we got to do it, there might be more Kryptonians. And then they go in and everyone's gonna be
Anyway,
dead,
your
and that's
dad's
gonna be
now
the
a
plot twist.
werewolf.
Well, the plot twist is everyone's gonna be dead already by the time Brainiac found them, and he's like, I just thought it was an interesting snow globe. And then they're
I
gonna be
shake
like,
it every now and then.
yeah,
I like to
like
hear the
sometimes stuff
corpses,
falls apart. Yeah,
smack against the
they go
glass.
flying like the fucking snow.
Uh, no, but I'm
That's
actually
fucked
really
up.
excited for the next Superman movie.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that, and I hope, um, I mean, I hope Supergirl. It seemed like the ending.
Oh,
Maybe
definitely. She's
Supergirl
definitely going to
will
be a major
participate
part.
more.
I I think she definitely should be a major part, especially with Brainiac.
Yeah.
I will say, uh, biggest Did I say earlier that I had one biggest critique? This is my biggest critique of the
I don't
film.
know. It might have been before.
Um, well, retroactively, that's my
Yeah.
second biggest. This is my biggest. Uh, Gunn doubling down on Kal-El being sent to be a conqueror.
I
Man,
I think people
no
were blowing that
version of
out of
Superman.
proportion. That
No,
but who cares? Who cares
I
if a comic writer came out with a special and it said, "Oh, in this one he was sent to be a conqueror," no one would give a shit. But
yeah,
because
but
it's
the thing
introduced in
is
a
that
movie
that
instead of
would
a
be an
comic,
alternate
all of us.
version. For it, to me at
Everything's an
least.
alternate version. Batman Noel is technically an alternate version of Batman, and Hush is an alternate. DC doesn't work like that. So any issue. So if this was a comic story, people wouldn't care. And that to me, I feel like I'm like suddenly this I'm suddenly more passionate about than half of the other stuff. But like,
For me, I think it teaches a wrong lesson in the fact that like immigrants, like people, because that's the whole thing is like Superman is supposed to be an immigrant story, and so being like, hey, this immigrant was actually sent to be incredibly dangerous and to conquer your people and to like to breed with your children, like that to me
but then
just sends such an awful.
the moral of the story is that it didn't fucking matter because it's not about them. It's about what Clark does. And so the same
True.
thing, the immigrant thing, if you want to do it, it's basically saying, look, even if you think that these people are being sent to commit horrible crimes, they're not, and they're good people. Like even if they were sent, it didn't matter. So I think that's that thing. But I mean, either way,
I
a
think
little
I
bit. Now
gotta
we're arguing
agree to
about Superman
disagree.
instead of Supergirl.
I think I gotta agree to disagree, but yeah,
I think that it's not that big of a issue, and I
I
think
felt very very I think this is because like I guess maybe like just like the way I grew up with my parents being immigrants.
my parents are both immigrants too.
Oh yeah, right.
Chill, bro.
Um but I guess I just feel like very very passionate about that because it's like for me at least I don't know. I've always seen people like prescribing immigrants as like being like where they're stealing our jobs, they're doing this and stuff
Yeah,
like that. And so for me, it's like this feels like another like little like gun that they could wave around
but you
for
can't
comic
shy
fans.
away from that because they're always gonna do it, and then they because if you're racist, you don't need an excuse. You just go and you go. Clark was one of the good ones, or some shit like that. Like you don't need an excuse. Oh, his parents raised him right, not like these immigrants that are coming in to do crimes. They should be more like super. Like you don't need a reason to be racist. So that
Mm.
like I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to like. I'm sure some it does feed into that for some people, but they'll find anything. They're probably not even fucking watching the movie. You
Mm.
know, they're probably
I also
doing
don't
other
like the
shit. They're
fact that his
definitely not
parents are
watching this
like, yeah,
movie.
fuck as many women as you can.
Yeah, they're definitely not watching this movie,
I just think
Supergirl.
also
That
Jor-El should just be like a pretty like
I
chill scientist guy,
I
like for
was
the most
interested. They
part.
didn't show them at
Jor-El.
all. They showed
Well, the
Kara's
reason why was
parents.
because they couldn't afford
Yeah,
they couldn't afford
yeah.
they couldn't
Over
afford those two.
corn sweat scenes.
Yeah, all the
They
corn
were
sweat
like, "This is
scenes
what we can
definitely
get." He was good in this.
no,
I
he
mean,
was
he was
great.
good in that,
Oh,
but
he was
he was
hilarious.
great. And his I sort of wish we had some more interactions with him and Kara. I know that again, that wasn't what this was about, but I feel like we could have explored their sort of relationship more because the few times we saw them, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
I definitely think the movie could have been longer, honestly, straight up. Like I
Yeah,
think the film could have
it
at
was
least done
2
with
hours.
another. It was less than 2 hours, wasn't it?
A
Wasn't it like
little
an
less.
hour 50? Like
It was like an hour 56 or something.
yeah, I think it could have
So
easily
not
done with
that.
another 15 minutes at minimum. At minimum, 15 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like uh an hour and wait, what? Uh oh, it's oh, okay. It's an hour and 47 minutes. Okay. So
Yeah,
that
so
probably could have used some more time.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
like getting
even
it to
then
like 2 hours, it could have been easily like a very
I
like.
think some of the issues that they had also weren't necessarily length issues. It was what they chose to show.
Oh
I
no,
th-
100%. I
I
mean, it's stuff
think
that they left on the cutting room floor that they obviously filmed and then didn't use.
Yeah, and some stuff that they kept where like the bus scene with those like tech pirate raiders, it was good, it was cool,
It
it
didn't
was
need to be that
funny,
long.
but it didn't need to be that long. And in the overall scheme of things, it did stuff for the story, but it didn't how long those scenes took did not add that much to the story. With that amount of time, you could have made Lobo a real character
Yeah.
in this movie.
I also think that like another complaint is that a lot of the planets look the same. A lot of it are like just
Yeah,
dusty desert
gray
planets,
rock.
which in comparison to art in the comic is such a downgrade because every planet looks so different in the comic. I mean, yet
Yeah,
again, Billy is an artist of great renown and great skill. So
yeah,
I of course there was literally no way they could have ever possibly matched
yeah. And in
like
comics, you could just get weird, and
yeah.
you can do a lot of
But like, give me like a water
abstract stuff.
planet. Give me give me
Yeah, a
something more than
forest
just
or
deserts. Yeah,
something
a
like
forest
yeah.
even. Give me some greenery.
And it had a little bit of Snyderverse problem where big final battle on a gray rocky planet, big open, there's nothing in it, so it's really easy to green
Man, she was
screen.
lucky that Kryptonite sun stayed away for that long.
Yeah, for half the day, and it
By the way,
like
they don't fight on that planet. She like leaves that planet as soon as she can, which is the smart decision.
yeah, s- some things were, and I get why, like, okay, maybe in a movie you don't have the time, or it just doesn't, it's too much work to have her leave a planet just to do that whole final fight on a third planet, when they were right
Mm,
there. I get that. I'm not that torn up about it. But if you're going to do that, make the planet interesting. And again, like I think of, and it's not the comparison I thought I would make, but again, the Star Wars, where you look at, and I'm going to be crucified for even referencing the
mm,
sequels, but the sequels, which had kind of the worst planets, were still more interesting than this.
mm.
Where I think of what is it, crate red, I mean like white, but with the weird red sand
Oh,
underneath and stuff.
the salt.
Yeah, the salt, yeah, with the weird
I
red
really like that
dirt
planet.
underneath.
I thought that was a
That's
cool design.
that if because of budget or you're lazy or whatever, you're the director and you're like, look, special effects has a big CGI fight, but we don't want trees, we don't want buildings or whatever. It's too much work to keep consistent. We just need a flat, empty planet. Do something, make it red, make it crate white with red sand, make it like, purple, do some weird thing with it, or use the sun thing to make it a weird color.
Yeah.
It just felt very like Snydery, like, okay, we're great, like the Flash final fight where it's just like, okay, we're in gray, there's spaceships and people shooting lasers, and then uh it didn't
I
I'm
think
talking too much about this fucking
I think
planet.
the reason why we're talking so much about this film is because it could have been great. That's the main takeaway is that at least for
Yeah.
me personally, I'm always going to be more frustrated with a movie that was decent or good but
Hmm.
could have been great or even amazing.
Yeah.
More than just a bad movie because a bad movie I can always just write off as being like, well, that was dog shit.
Yeah.
Like for example, like the Venom movies, I don't give a thought about those films.
Yeah, that's why some of the again, I feel like I'm doing that a lot tonight, but it's late and I'm tired, so I'm just gonna rant for a little bit again.
Yeah,
Where the fucking reviewing and the people talking about this movie like it's the
the
fucking worst thing to
Antichrist.
ever hit film, and they're like, this is bad, this is this is why superhero movies are dying and stuff. You either don't like superhero stuff, or you don't like women, or you just are like, you have some sort of agenda or something. Because
Literally.
look, this movie wasn't perfect, but it wasn't a failure of a movie. You watch that, you didn't go out of it thinking, oh man, I wasted
Yeah, I
2 hours.
wasted not
They
even
owe
two
me my movie
hours.
tickets, yeah, they owe me my movie tickets back or something. I was more upset from fucking Iron Man 3 than this.
Yeah.
even about the stuff that I didn't like. Like
To
this
me,
is
weirdly enough, I was saying this earlier to one of my friends, but like, if MCU Phase One came out today, people would fucking lose their shits, calling it dog shit.
right.
People.
Fucking, I dare someone to go back and watch the first Captain America.
I was literally going to say this to me is on the level of the first Cap movie. I think.
It was
I think
kind of boring. And
it like
Thor, the first Thor wasn't that good, but at least fucking Ken Branagh was putting in enough Dutch angles that it felt weird enough that you're like,
that
this
and
is new.
and he was
Every
actually
scene is a
trying.
Dutch. Every single scene is a Dutch angle.
There's a shit ton of Dutch angles in that
Every
film.
like, I rewatched it kind of recently, like a year ago. Truly, like every other scene was a Dutch angle for no reason. They were just like, "How's the weather?"
So wild that the
Oh
only accurate
wow,
helmet he had was in that one scene, and then he never wore it again.
yeah. So like, go back and watch that. They're not that great. And
Yeah, no,
honestly,
people put them on
2 years
pedestals.
ago, 2 years ago, if this had come out instead of fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier, was that 2 years ago even? I mean, not Falcon Winter Soldier.
Captain America: Brave New World. It was
Brave New
last
World.
year.
Yes,
It was last
yes.
year.
The Falcon Captain America one, Brave New
Yeah,
World.
this is way better than Brave
If
New World.
if this
In
had
my
come
opinion.
out, people would be like, "Oh my god, thank God Marvel did a good movie."
Yeah, no, literally.
Like
Like, yeah, I
it
compare
wasn't
this to Cap
Superman, sure.
One. Yeah, I don't think this is on the level of Superman, but I think Superman is also something that like they knew they couldn't fuck up in any way, and so they had they really, and you could tell it was a passion project for Gunn, and
Yeah,
so like it was very much something that he thought about day and night. It was like, how do I make this as good as I can? Which, not saying that they didn't for this, but like there's a difference between an auteur trying to represent his favorite character and someone being like, I have a really cool idea for a character
yeah,
that I genuinely know, but I'm not like the most avid fan of, you know?
yeah. And I can do a new story in a. I'm. This is the first thing in the whole world. I'm free to do whatever I want. I think there's a freedom of that, and I think maybe adapting the comic might have hurt this movie a little bit in that they didn't have that freedom to be like, look, we can truly go where we want and do whatever we want. Maybe that hurt them a little bit.
I
Maybe
think
that's
so a
why
little
they
bit,
pulled some
weirdly
punches.
enough. Either that or they should have fully committed to adapting the comic and
Yeah,
really gone with the whole like road trip vibe of this, because
yeah,
that's the thing in the comic. It's a road trip. This very much did not feel like a road trip.
yeah. It felt like two planets.
It
It felt
literally
like going
was
from
like 2 or 3 planets max.
planet A to planet B with like a pit stop at the weird slavery planet. Like that's just, we're
That's
going
pretty accurate.
there.
Yeah,
We're having a layover in the fucking slavery planet, and then we're going back to
Andromeda system.
yeah. You're going from desert A.
That's,
Have a layover, and then desert B.
yeah, but yeah. So like in the comics, it's like very much like almost like a planet of the week, where every
Mm,
time each issue you're like, oh, this is a new planet, and
yeah,
it's like one planet is like the blues versus the reds, and it's literally just say aliens, and they're
yeah,
all the same except the reds hate the blues and the blues hate the red, and it's like a goofy moment where Supergirl's like, this is fucking stupid.
yeah. I think, and even they could have done that. Like that's why I was saying I don't think the length is the problem. I think they could have done that here, where okay,
They had
do
enough time for
something.
that.
Yeah, where she's drinking, she's doing the drinking scene.
Could have done montage even of the other planets.
Yeah, do something where the bus, cut that whole bus thing in half, where you do she's on the bus for a little bit, it's funny. Oh man, Ruth followed me here, she shouldn't have done that. They land on a planet, fight some gangsters, and then she goes to another planet, like fight
Yeah.
the tech thieves or whatever on a planet instead of the bus. And that could have just added one new planet that you could have made interesting, and it would have felt more like a road trip.
Overall, I'm curious. What did you think of the acting for Ruth and Kara? I thought they were very good actors. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
they were good actors. Literally, the only thing holding them back was the edit. Like, really, honestly,
yeah. The
and some of
edit,
the dialogue.
some of the dialogue, yeah, felt like I
But
said
like,
earlier,
it
they're
was,
just straight
yeah,
to the plot point.
yeah.
It felt like not as much character exploration as I would have hoped.
like the Kara flashback stuff for me was like such a great moment because there's
Mhm.
not a lot said, but there's a
Yeah,
lot felt within those flashbacks. And then I think in the final fight, especially, you can really feel with Ruth like how frustrated she is,
yeah.
stuff like
I
that.
think I think that's part of the problem is that there wasn't as much back and forth between the two leads,
Yeah.
where it felt very much like Ruth going, "We got to hunt him," and Kara going, "I don't wanna." "We got to hunt him." "I don't want to." "We got to help these people." "I don't want to." And then up until the very end, where all of a sudden it's like, "Don't kill these people." "Okay, I won't. I'll kill them." And like they just switch roles right to the
Mm.
end. It felt like there could have been a little bit more of that. Like now Ruth's in charge. Now Supergirl's in charge. Now Ruth's in charge.
Well, the thing is that they cut out like a whole little arc with Ruth, where like while like Kara's on the Kryptonite planet, Ruth takes care of her. Like that's like a whole like the entire issue is her basically taking care of, and like she fights off like a giant sea monster by
Didn't
herself.
didn't want to be too much like Mandalorian and Grogu.
I haven't watched the movie still,
It-
so that's
there's
funny.
like a whole section where like Grogu goes on his own little adventure.
Oh, that's funny.
Pretty much not to spoil it. I don't
I
know
don't
if you,
care.
but
Maybe someone else does. Click
it
off the video.
that's something. Well, yeah, Mandalorian and Grogu spoilers, and also that's something that movie felt worse than this,
Yeah.
and that movie made me more upset at how much of a missed opportunity it was than this. So that's part of the. But there's a whole section where Mandalorian gets sort of out of commission. Same exact thing. He gets knocked out by some shit, and Grogu goes off on an adventure. I don't think it was directly because of that, but it's funny seeing those two movies in
The
comparison. They're
through
very
line.
similar dynamics of like, you
Space
know,
road trip movies
yeah,
that have like a
space,
plucky sidekick that
yeah, the
also
sidekick and the parent figure, and you're going through a couple planets and stuff where that almost did the planets more interesting, but the plot wasn't there. And this, the
mm,
plot was decent, but it just wasn't brought as much to life.
I also gotta say I think the reason why I make that comparison to Captain America like the first Avenger is because to me Cap the first Cap movie is a good movie up until the point where they do a montage of all the Nazi like
Yeah,
headquarters and shit, and then after that that movie to me starts falling
they skipped
down.
the interesting part.
Yeah. And so that's exactly the same critique where it's like you film the stuff and then you decide to not use it
Yeah,
because like you rather prefer a montage, which happened with the family stuff. And I was like, so you shot it. You obviously shot it.
yeah,
Use it, please. I will literally take 5 more minutes for you to use
yeah,
those shots and make me feel something rather than just be like, here's a montage because we need to save time.
yeah. I also, this just popped into my head. Part of that, to me, again, back to Lobo, just sort of hopping in the middle of a story and then bouncing
Leaving.
around. I wonder if pushing him earlier, even up to somewhere around when you first meet Ruth and the family and Krem in the first place, if you establish Lobo has some interactions with these people, and you sort of go, "Oh, who is that?"
Like
Instead of
Lobo is
just,
like having his like weapon sharpened by like the father or something like that because he's a
yeah, like,
weaponsmith.
yeah, he's in the area, or like, yeah, like maybe he's coming in to be like, "Hey, uh
Like he needs his hook.
he
Like
knows the gang, or he knows he's already on the trail of this guy he has the bounty on. He knows that they're coming to the sword maker, and so he tries to like intercept them while Krem is killing the family, you know something like that, like putting him, because thinking about it, he shows up in the middle in the slavery planet. I keep
yeah,
calling it that. I don't remember what it was called.
me neither.
um in that planet, he shows up. He's just literally, he stands up, and Kara goes, "Oh, that's Lobo. Don't look at him." And you're just like, "Okay, fucking, I guess that's Lobo." No build up, no nothing. Like,
I really, honestly, they should have just introduced him in the bar fight itself. Like if he
yeah,
was there the entire time, then like I feel like just having Carl like try to fight him and then realize it's Lobo would have been so much more. Like her just like punching him and him being like,
Yeah.
huh, and then
Or
her like him like
or even
spitting
maybe
out a tooth or
she's
something.
yeah, maybe she like lets her beat him just because he's like, oh, I want to see what she's like, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, oh, okay, you fight pretty good now. I'll start trying like
Also,
some
they
fucking
showed
anime thing.
none of his healing abilities, which was kind of annoying
Yeah, they just kind of
because it
said
was
he
PG
was immortal a
13.
couple times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the,
but like
they probably
the
couldn't
PG
show too much.
13 stabbing people though. They could have
Yeah,
stabbed him, and then he would just like he one
well,
time they
Krem got
that
stabbed
happened.
in the
They
neck, but they didn't even show blood when he died.
yeah, no, they did one bit I think where like they stabbed him or they shot him or something, and he was like, oh, that almost got me or some shit like that, you know. Or he's like, oh, that was a pretty good hit. Um, I think it was Krem. I think Krem stabbed him and he was like, "Oh, I hit you pretty good though," or some shit. I don't fucking know, but
Something
something
like
like
that.
that where they did it once and then once earlier they were like Lobo's immortal and then you don't really learn that much about him. He's just vibes, which I guess that is a lot of Lobo,
It's
but
fine, but it could have been a little bit. It could have been integrated into the story better,
yeah.
or
That's what
either
you're
that or post credit scene, like straight
yeah.
up. Like I would be
That
fine with a post credit scene for him.
and they didn't put one and
Yeah, like that's the weird thing. Is like put honestly, I was really surprised they didn't do a post credit scene for him. Like you might as well have just done a post credit scene for him, and it could have been even like goofy, like him with like space dolphins.
yeah, yeah.
Like literally, that's like a whole bit is that he loves space
Yeah,
dolphins.
yeah.
Like just
So
just
do
something
some
stupid like
do
that.
like
Yeah,
do a bit or do crypto fucking chewing up another newspaper or something. Like
yeah. Anyway, I think we've discussed this film more
I
than
think
enough.
you summarize it pretty well when you were like, it's fine, could have been great, it's fine.
Yeah, it's good. Could have been great. I
Yeah.
think I think that is a pretty concise statement. Um, anyone trying to pitch it to you as like Satan's offspring is
Yeah.
kind of just BSing you, honestly.
And I think sometimes you can appreciate a good 7 out of 10
Yeah,
or
no,
something
straight
like that.
up.
Like
And
you can just like a game or a book or a movie or something, just appreciate it. It's fun for what it is, and then you go read the comic when you want
yeah,
the better version.
honestly, I will say I have been loving the fact that they've been handing out comics for the screenings.
Yeah.
That has been quite nice to see, and I really do appreciate that because it really does go to show that like Gunn does give a shit about like the actual medium of comics, which
Yeah,
is
and I
nice.
think more things like this because there's been very few comic movies that have tried to adapt a specific comic. They've been like
Yes,
influenced by this,
Age of
loosely
Ultron and
that,
other
or
like
like
that. Yeah,
we'll take Civil War and do a new version.
yeah, we'll make it fit
Kind
into
of.
our universe versus vice versa.
Yeah, but there hasn't been one since those like DC animated ones where they're like, this is a comic. We are just going to show it in movie format now.
Yeah, we're just gonna adapt it straight up.
And I think for what this is not great at, I think it's close. So I'd love to see more of a kind of movie.
Yeah, I would definitely be really interested to see what you think of the comic after reading it because I think
Yeah, I'm excited to. I can
yeah,
finally start because
I
once I
highly
got the
recommend it.
idea that I
It's
was like,
good.
I can't. It's been downloaded on my phone. I'm just
Yeah,
like taunting me. So now I can finally
the
read it.
art
Also,
is fucking insane. Billy Quees
yeah,
Evely is um a phenomenal artist. I mean, she did
yeah.
Helen of Windhorn. I don't know if you read that. That was an awesome
I
book.
didn't.
Also, it's a love letter to Conan the Barbarian. It's really
Yeah.
cool. It's a really cool sword and sorcery like book. Highly
Oh,
recommend it.
I
The
think I
art,
have seen this.
yeah, the
Yeah.
art is crazy. It's really good. Well done. I actually recommend reading that also because it's also written by Tom King.
Cool.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he them working together is very fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's give our final ratings. I give this film Supergirl 3.5 cryptos 3.5 cryptos out of 5. Yes, there is one crypto chopped up in half.
Yeah. I would say I think 3.5, maybe 3.75 if I'm allowed to do that. Like uh uh
You're
pooping
breaking
popcorn
precedent.
bugs. pooping popcorn bugs out of 5.
Oh god, that okay. I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty. That
That
got
was a
me.
good
That got
bit.
a chuckle out of me. The whole
Yeah.
like this tastes like shit. I was like,
Oh
I
my
was like,
god.
okay, that's funny.
The fucking I don't even know if it was like a bit, but the needle drop at the end, the fucking what is it, Jimmy Eats World?
Oh my god, that shit
Like
was so
cover that
corny.
was so funny though. It was kind of funny with
Oh,
her
it was
like
so corny to
she was
me.
kind of also again what you said PG-13, like they didn't even show blood, but she was straight up killing those brigands like
Oh yeah,
fucking
100%.
Snyder style, like just lasering
There
them,
were
blowing
some
them up,
moments where I was
flinging
like,
them to
okay,
space.
I appreciate how much they were showing, and they were really
Yeah.
like it goes to show just how honestly this film, if
This is
anything,
why
showed it to me like how lenient PG-13 films have
Yeah.
become.
Well, this is why they do in everything else zombies or robots or something because it looks weird if you hit someone that hard because they do that Age of Ultron. You had Iron Man punching guys that hard, but they were robots, so it didn't seem as shocking. Here they're people again. You can't
And you
even see
can't
the
just make
blood
them
and it
turn
looks
into blood mist. Yeah.
yeah, it looks awkward. But in Avengers, you punch a robot and he just turns into a chunk of parts. So I
Yeah.
think that's turn the brigands into robots and then those action like
They're
or just
weird
bump
little
up the
gremlin
rating.
people in the comics, so
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Uh, Stick around. We're going to be reviewing a bunch more movies coming up. See you guys.
see you guys.